Right now, somewhere, someone is standing in a bathroom with the door locked, blinking hard, trying to make it stop. You know the feeling. That hot pressure behind your eyes right before you lose the fight. Maybe it happened over something small. A comment, a memory, a song in the car. And afterward, you probably felt a little embarrassed, wondering why your body does this thing you can't seem to control. Here's what you don't know. You've been doing this your entire life, and it's older than language itself. Older than fire, probably. So, what if crying was never really about sadness? What if it was never weakness at all, but something your ancestors couldn't survive without? This isn't just sadness leaking out of you. It's older than fire, older than tools, maybe older than any word ever spoken. Some researchers think emotional tears were one of the first survival broadcasts humans ever developed. A signal system before language existed to send one. And scientists only recently figured out why, which honestly changes the entire way you should think about crying. Because it turns out humans aren't just good at crying emotionally. We might be the only animal on Earth that actually does it. That discovery alone rewrote a lot of assumptions. Vingerhoets spent years studying this. A biologist at Tilburg University, he published research in 2013, confirming what most people assume is obvious, and got a completely different answer than expected. Animals cry. Elephants, dogs, sea otters, they all produce tears. But those tears are mechanical. Eye irritation, lubrication, reflex responses to pain. What Vingerhoets confirmed is that emotional tears, the kind tied to grief or joy or overwhelm, appear to be uniquely human. No other species does this, not one. Most people never stop to find this strange. They should. We spent decades assuming emotional crying was just something mammals did, a universal feature of feeling things. It isn't. It's specifically ours. And that specificity matters enormously because evolution doesn't hand out expensive traits for free. Today, crying in public gets you told to hold it together. Man up, not here. But for early humans, visible distress was likely a survival signal, a broadcast that brought the group closer rather than pushing them away. The people who cried got protected. So if tears were useful, why is the mechanism completely involuntary and nearly impossible to fake? In evolutionary biology, there's a concept called an honest signal, a physical cue that's too costly or difficult to fake, which makes it reliable in a way that words never quite are. A peacock's tail, a lion's mane, things that can't be easily manufactured. Tears, it turns out, are one of them. You can force a smile. You can modulate your voice. Faking tears on demand is genuinely hard. Most people can't do it at all. That's not a coincidence. That's the point. In 2011, researchers at the Tel Aviv University published findings that went largely under the radar. When men were exposed to the scent of real human tears, without even seeing a crying person, their testosterone levels dropped measurably. Aggression softened. Threat perception decreased. The tears themselves were doing something chemical, something ancient, something that had nothing to do with sympathy as a conscious choice. Crying wasn't a loss of control, it was a de-escalation tool. Possibly one of the first ones humans ever had. Today we cry alone in bathrooms with the door locked. Early humans almost certainly cried in groups. And those tears were actively reducing the risk of violence around them. But this wasn't just personal, this may have shaped entire communities. Think about what a newborn actually has. No words, no gestures, No ability to explain hunger, pain, cold, fear, nothing. And yet somehow they survive. They've always survived. Across every culture, every continent, every era of human history before language had even begun to take shape, infants communicated one way. They cried. This wasn't random. Psychiatrist John Bowlby first mapped this in the mid-20th century through his foundational work on attachment theory. The idea that infant crying is a hardwired biological system designed to pull caregivers close. Modern neuroscience expanded that picture significantly. When a baby cries, the brains of nearby adults release oxytocin, the same bonding hormone triggered by physical touch. The cry doesn't just request help, it chemically compels it. That means crying predates every spoken language ever developed by tens of thousands of years. It was the original broadcast system, the first language, and we've spent centuries calling it weakness. Today, telling someone not to cry is practically reflexive. But for the most vulnerable humans who ever existed, crying wasn't an emotional overflow. It was the only tool keeping them alive. And this instinct may have done more than keep babies alive. It may have shaped how we built entire societies. Here's where the scale shifts completely. Evolutionary psychologists have argued that shared emotional displays, group crying, public grief, visible vulnerability, may have been a core mechanism that allowed early Homo sapiens to build larger, more cooperative social groups than any other hominin that came before us. Neanderthals were stronger. Other species had been around longer. But humans developed something those groups didn't. A reliable, chemical, nearly unfakeable system for building trust at scale. Some researchers believe this emotional signaling infrastructure was a genuine competitive advantage, not a side effect of being human, a reason for it. This largely flew under mainstream discussion until recently, and it reframes something enormous. The story of why we're here at all. Today, crying happens alone. In cars, in bathrooms at 2 a.m. Hidden, apologized for, explained away. But for most of human history, tears were communal. Shared. They pulled people together rather than pushing them into separate rooms. So the next time a tear falls without permission, it's not really about now, it's about all of it. Remember that person in the bathroom with the door locked, blinking hard, trying to make it stop? That's where we started. But you know something now that they didn't know going in. That moment, embarrassing, involuntary, confusing, connects directly to 200,000 years of humans doing the exact same thing to survive, to bond, to communicate before a single word existed, to carry the weight of what they felt. Every tear was a signal. Every signal kept someone alive. And somehow, across all that time, the mechanism never left. You're not falling apart when you cry. You're running code older than civilization. Next time it happens, in the car, at the wrong moment, over something you can't quite explain, maybe don't fight it so hard. It's not a glitch. It's not weakness. It's inheritance. And now you'll never look at a single tear the same way again.